Step into the spotlight.
Okay, so there comes a time when you're reading comic books and you know that they're trying to do something. You know that they're trying to accomplish something in the book, but you're not sure that they know either what they're doing or how to get from A to B. You know what I mean? Um, you'll be reading a book and the concepts are there, but the execution and the artwork just don't complement the idea that they're trying to do. You know what I mean? And so when I'm reading all new Wolverine, aka X-23, trying to be Wolverine, fake Wolverine, She Wolverine. Um, we're on issue 27 now, which is kind of a shocker, but of course they went back to the original numbering, so really we're on like issue 10, you know, but that they say 27 because that's the total number of books that she's had as X-23, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because she's supposed to be Wolverine. So wouldn't you use Wolverine's numbering? Because by using X-23's numbering, you're acknowledging that she's not Wolverine. But that's just me. So anyway, we get this cover here, and the first thing that I notice is this random floating baby with a mask over its head. It's just floating there. Is it a telepath? Has it got some kind of telekinetic powers? What's going on? Because you have this random floating baby here. And everybody's got the mask on. They're looking like something out of the Klan, but really they're basically Antifa. And you've got a woman that's getting married that has a mask on for some reason. It basically is supposed to represent everybody that's lost something from the X-Men fighting. They've had some kind of fight that's killed somebody else as a bystander or something like that, and they blame them for it because that's logical. But so we get this cover here, and like I said before, you've got all these random people. You even got a police officer with a mask on, even though they would never do that. But anyway, moving on. X-23 looks like somebody just told her that she was a cis male or something like that, so she's upset. So basically what has happened in this storyline is we're getting more interested here because we're talking about Sarah Kinney's past, or Laura Kinney's past life, and her mom and what's happened to her family, all this stuff that's been going on, and now she has actually found her mom, which has been brought back to life. And so then we've also got Dakin running around. He was captured, had his arm cut off, he escaped, just now met up with X-23, so now we've got all that going on. And this could be very interesting, but I'll tell you in a minute why it just doesn't work for me. So anyway, let's talk about who's working on this book here. The writer is Tom Taylor. The artist is Juan Cabal, and the color artist is Nolan Woodard. And so we open up here. We've got what's her name? Gabby. Gabby's sitting there, and whoever draws this, really, they should just get a different artist. Like the artist is really good at doing Google 3D imaging on all the rooms and hallways and stuff, but it's not too good at the characters because Gabby looks like Chucky. She looks basically like Chucky from Child's Play, which is the creepiest thing when it's supposed to be a little kid. And then you've got these women here, and they've drawn them basically. They have no three-dimension to them. They're basically just an outline. You can see their hair just wraps around their head like cotton balls, and like Q-tips, and it's really awkward. But anyway, she says, "Someone's coming. Go hide." And we already know who it is, but of course we got to act shocked. And all the women are like, "We're not going anywhere. We're getting these pots and pans. We're gonna fight." So then they all wait there, and the door opens, and it's just Laura and Dakin. And so they walk in there. Dakin's looking like the guy from Die Hard. He's got his shirt all tore up. He's barefoot. He's got a gun in his hand. And so basically, Dakin is freaking out because he thinks that those people that just left, of course, that were chasing him there and just turned around and left, he thinks they're watching him because he has seen the live feed at that house, which is really just right down the road, watching Laura and the group. So he's trying to tell her what's going on, and she's not listening very well because I'm trying to get this to work here. It's giving me some problems. But he's been tortured for a couple of days now, and so he does not trust this group as far as he can throw them, and he knows that they're going to try to do something, and he is ready for them. You know what I mean? And Laura just keeps messing with him, which I don't know why she's doing that. I would try to believe him a little bit. He's missing his arm. And so they start arguing back and forth. The little Wolverine's getting agitated now. Gabby offers him some coffee, and he says, coffee, and she says, maybe tea. Maybe you want some tea. And so we're still getting this back and forth, and he sees Sarah, which is her mom, and he knows something's up because she shows up at this convenient time right as all this is going on. And she says, and Laura's like, I've seen her heartbeat. I've seen it, or I've heard her heartbeat. It's her. And then we get some of this really bad art in the background here. These people's heads just look lopsided and warped. And Dakin's like, oh, her heartbeat? Bam! And just caps her right in the chest. She goes down slow motion like everybody's like, oh my God, what did you do that for? And Laura turns into some kind of golem in her face. I don't know why you would make her look like that. And then she starts attacking him. He's like, hey, listen to me. And she's like, nope. And she starts cutting him and stabbing him and stuff. And they're hitting him with the pots and pans in the head. And what I really like about this is they don't realize it, but they're really amping up who Dakin is as a character. So, because you realize he's been tortured, he's hurt, he's missing his arm, he's outnumbered. X-23 is fighting him, and all it takes to stop this fight is one punch from him to her face, and the fight's over. Yeah, she's supposed to be the new Wolverine, and he stopped her with one punch. So then she keeps trying to fight him, and that's when Sarah says, Laura, we're coming. And it's like, what? And her eyes light up, and we know at this point what's been going on. And she says, the Orphans of X, we're coming for you. And then we see the live feed from the other Orphans of X. And I'm sure it's going to lead to a mutant being on the side because they got this hook up here at this weird headquarters where it's got this helmet on her head. So something's going on here. And it says, there's hundreds of us. We're coming for you. We can't stop us, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, we know what's going on now, obviously. And he said, Dakin says, Laura, when I was pointing my gun at Sarah, her heartbeat didn't change. I knew she wasn't real. And so that's when he tells her that. And I'm like, so Laura couldn't pick up on that, but Dakin could? Dakin's been like on the run. He hasn't even really done anything. And so now they know that the Orphans of X don't know where the Muramasa blade is, which can kill all of the Wolverine clones, but they know where it's at, and they know that Captain Marvel is on the way to get it. So now they're in trouble. So basically, then we get these different visuals here of all the people that are involved, and we know now that there's people in S.H.I.E.L.D. that's involved too, because that looks like S.H.I.E.L.D. group to me. And so they know that she's headed toward Canada. They intercept her when she gets there. They have a kamikaze weapon that shows up and totally blindsides Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's totally useless in this book. All it took was a plane flying up. How did you not hear the plane? How did you not see the people flying out of the air? But they catch her off guard, and kablamo, like a comet, hit the ground and take her out. So then they give Dakin a shirt that says "Strong Girl" on it. It doesn't even fit. And so he's wearing her clothes. It's a really weird situation. You didn't have any kind of clothes that might fit him other than that. But they jump in a car. They're headed over to the situation. Then we see the Orphans of X. They're all collecting the blades. And that we get this situation here where they leave Captain Marvel alone. They say she's not the one we're after, and I'm thinking that's because she's not a mutant. You know what I mean? So they're collecting all the pieces of blade, and they said, we have what we need to end their species. We take it, we mold it, and then we will hunt all the Wolverines to extinction. Ooh, that's rough. So in my eyes, I'm thinking the best thing that can come out of this situation is at the end, have Logan show back up. You know, have the real Wolverine show back up and save the day. That would be a great way to end all new Wolverine and start Wolverine all over again. Have them as sidekicks. I mean, that would be a good way to do that. But of course, they probably won't do that because, you know, that's what the people want. We're not going to do what the people want. We want to be exclusive, not inclusive, exclusive. Um, but uh, but all in all, this book kind of falls short. The last couple of issues have been pretty good. And then we're still in her house talking. You know what I mean? We've done this for a couple of issues now, and we're still hanging out in the house just talking about nonsense. And it's really, at this point, it's got to stop. We gotta move on. We gotta do something different. And that they punk Laura because she's able to be taken down by one punch from Dakin with one arm missing, and she's supposed to be the all-new Wolverine. And it's little things like that that just kind of ruin it for me. The art is terrible. It's a bunch of 3D models and just kind of just cheap stuff. And they had to throw Captain Marvel in here for no reason at all because her book's selling like 5,000 issues a month. I mean, all in all, this, like I said, this is kind of falls short for me. I really wish they would go back to the basic Wolverine. They would just give her own book as X-23, and that would just make everybody happy. But they won't do that kind of stuff. They're going to continue. They have to double down. You know, they can't stop what they're doing. They can't accept defeat. They can't accept that they did something wrong. I mean, when you're doing something, you're going to do some things wrong. You know what I mean? You're going to do one or two things wrong. You're just going to have to deal with it at that point. They can't do that. They keep this stupid stuff going on and on and on, and I'm just kind of sick of it at this point. But you know, that's all I got to say about it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I hope you liked the video, and I've got a couple more videos to come. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.